Hello, and welcome to episode 46 of the Mindful Knitter podcast. My name is Claire, and I am your host. If you are new, welcome. I'm so happy that you found us and that you are joining today. This is a podcast primarily about yarn. It's knitting, crocheting, weaving, spinning, yarn dyeing, all of the yarn stuff. And it's a kind of a traditional kind of vlogcast style. So we talk about finished objects, works in progress, upcoming projects, and then any kind of yarn related adventures or chat more towards the end. So if that sounds like your jam, then I hope that you enjoy. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. I'm so happy that you come back to join me week after week. Or whenever you have the time and energy to pop by. I'm really grateful to get to spend time with you guys regularly. You're the only ones that understand me and my yarn obsession. So I'm coming to you from the southeast of the United States. And what are some other things that are usual for the intro? Social media. So if you want to connect with me on social media, all of the information for that is down in the description below the video, but I'm on Ravelry as Mindful Knitter Pod, and I'm on Instagram as the.mindfulknitter. I'm more active on Instagram than I am on Ravelry, but technically the Ravelry group does exist. I think it's the Mindful Knitter podcast group on Ravelry, and it does technically exist. So you are very welcome to connect with me on either of those platforms, but yeah, I'm more likely to respond to a chat or something on Instagram. My email is also clairethemindfulknitter@gmail.com. Other things to mention would be any information about the patterns, the designers, the yarn, all of that is going to be in the description down below the video. So I think that there's like a little button that says more after the title of the video on YouTube, and if you click on that, you'll get a drop down for the description, and all of the information that we're talking about today is down in that description. So I think that's all of the intro things. We can go ahead and get into the yarny stuff for today. So my first finished object to share with you guys is what I am wearing. This is my finished May by Andrea Mowry. It's M-A-E, but again, that information is down in the description below the video. This was knit with Sewrella yarn, her worsted, I think it's classic worsted yarn, and it was in different colorways from her Disneyland collection that she released last year, the year before. They're all the limited edition collections, so even if I gave you the information, you couldn't get the yarn now. But this is from our Disneyland collection. I had originally wanted to knit this for going to Disneyland when I went in May this year, but I did not do that. I started it and then promptly got distracted by other things. So I didn't finish it for Disney, but that ended up being okay because what I wore to Disney was like a, one of those like tennis dresses. So it's like an athletic, like sweat wicking material. And then I had like a jacket over that, and that ended up being perfect because it went from like really cold in the morning to really hot in the middle of the day to cold again. It got kind of rainy at one point. So having that like quick dry fabric was really, really handy, and it was comfortable. So that ended up working a whole lot better than a wool tunic would have. But it is finished now, just in time for the end of summer. So we're going to start transitioning into fall in the next couple months. And I think this will be a really nice transitional piece. This is also really cozy for putting on like at the end of the day when it's cooling down. It's a really, really good, I think, versatile, wearable pattern. So I knit the size 2 in this. Usually I would knit the size 3 in most patterns, but this has a lot of positive ease. Like, it has quite a bit of positive ease. So I knit the size 2 because I didn't want it to be super, super oversized. I was also a little concerned about like this part. I didn't, because this is a very wide V, and I'll show you in a minute, the back is also a V. So it has the tendency to kind of come off the shoulders. I might end up knitting an I-cord tie for the back just to kind of keep this all like on me and not falling off, but we'll see. I'll wear it a little bit and see if it's trying to escape. If it is, then I'll knit a little I-cord tie. But I'll try to squat in my chair. It's so ridiculous. Not squat, like kneel in my chair to like show you. Yeah, so like it comes down. Good grief, this is so ridiculous. I need a different setup, but I say that every single time. So you can see that has this A-line. It comes down longer in the back than in the front, which is awesome for everybody who likes to wear these kinds of things with leggings and they want their butt covered. This is great because it does come down all the way, so you can wear this out. And then it has like this nice little like scoop here where it like is a little like shorter here and then comes down to the sides, and it's a nice flowy thing. It's got these little slip stitch right here in the middle, and you can see in the back it has that V in the back that mirrors the V in the front. So an I-cord tie is not off the table for this, because I've noticed this morning it has a tendency to kind of, but it mostly stays in place, so we'll see. Other things to mention about this. It was very quick. It's knit on size 11 or 11.5 needles, US 11 or 11.5. I think it's 11 for the body. No, I think it's 11.5 for the body and then 11. No, I think it's size 11 for the body and 10.5 for the ribbing. I want to say that's right. In any case, it's really big needles, so it goes pretty quick, which is really nice for a garment this size. So it does not take forever to make. And also that means that the fabric is not super dense. It's actually pretty breathable. So this really is a super transitional piece. It keeps the fabric nice and loose and flowy because it's not super dense. So it has like a nice drape to it versus being very structured. So it knit up pretty quick. One question I actually have for you guys is, let me see if I can find, yeah, so it's like, okay, can you guys see this? These little like holes. So there's short row shaping up here. And if you are familiar with short row shaping, and if you have any tips for me, I would be very, very grateful if you have any thoughts about this. So in the pattern, she recommends like a wrap and turn for making these short rows. And I did a German short row because I really like doing German short rows. And that's always the method that I use for short row shaping. I've never had any problem with it. I've never had little holes or little gaps from doing German short rows. So it was very surprising to me that these were happening. Is there a reason? I mean, if you are knowledgeable in this area, is there a reason why a wrap and turn might not create these holes while a German short row would? Because I haven't really done wrap and turn, so the mechanics of it, I mean, I'm just not familiar with the mechanics of it, and so I don't really know how that would eliminate that like gap issue. Because a German short row typically does not leave any kind of gap. So I don't really know what happened. It's not like crazy obvious on this, so I'm probably not going to go back and do anything, but if it really bothers me, then I'll just go back and behind and kind of like fill in those little gaps on the back side of the fabric so you can't see those little holes, which isn't an issue. That would maybe take 10 minutes. So, yeah, it's not the end of the world, but if you happen to know why that happened, I would just be very grateful to know, because I want to avoid that kind of issue in the future. And it's very likely I'm going to knit another one of these just because it is such a great garment and style, and I love to wear tunics, and I really like to wear leggings because they're kind of like pants, but they're not really pants. So I'm a big fan of not wearing real pants. I would really enjoy knitting a whole bunch of these, I think. And it'd be super easy to modify the sleeves so you could make a long sleeve tunic, and it wouldn't take all that much longer because you're knitting on size 11 needles, so it goes quick. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else to say about this project. The yarn is super soft, but Sewrella just makes amazingly soft yarn. She has got it down, and these colors are really, really pretty. Let me show you these colors more up close. I did a little bit of like a fade, but it's not like a super, super intentional fade. I do have 3 colors here, so I've got this lighter blue, and then this variegated blue, and then we have this beautiful like multicolored, and then we've got another little multicolor here, and then I did a tiny stripe of that light blue down at the bottom. This was 4 skeins of worsted weight. The pattern is written for an Aran weight yarn, but I kind of treat worsted and Arans interchangeably. For the most part, you know, worsted weight is typically a slightly lighter gauge than a worsted weight is, but they're pretty close. So I tend to sort of treat them interchangeably. And for me, at least, it's a lot easier to get a worsted weight yarn than an Aran weight yarn. Just more dyers and like yarn makers have a worsted weight available than they do the Aran. So I had the worsted weight, and that's what I used, and it worked great. Like, as you can tell, this is not see-through at all. It did not make a super transparent fabric. It worked just fine. Part of that might be Sewrella's worsted weight yarn. It might fluff up a little bit after blocking. So a different worsted weight might not fluff up so much, I don't know. But this worked great, as you can see. And I'm probably gonna knit another one of these at some point because look at how cute this thing is. I'm super pleased. And I actually wasn't positive if this was gonna be something I would wear a whole lot just because of the colors. And I tend, in my wardrobe, I tend to go for not quite so exciting a color palette. I tend to wear, well, I say that, but I wear a lot of neutrals, but I do like color pops. Like, I'll do color pops with like neon sometimes. But that is typically like a color pop. I'm not usually going to wear something that's like really multicolored like this as a garment, but I don't know, like I'm kind of liking this. It's kind of happy and it's kind of fun. I think I might wear this more than I originally thought that I was going to, and it's so comfortable. It might get a lot more wear than what I thought. So, but I think I do want to knit some more, maybe one of them in a more neutral color, or like one that's like maybe variegated or speckled, but is like all the same yarn. Or I might do another fade, but in neutrals. And also, how cute would it be to do like a striped version? I could knit a lot of these. So I think that's all I have to say about this one. I really liked this pattern. It was great. And then once I got like my mojo for it back, it just kind of like flew off the needles because it's knit on a size 11, which is huge. So it goes fast. Once again, I don't have my sock blockers and I just don't know where they are. They're somewhere. I'm going to be cleaning my craft room soon. Part of me is like, should I film that or should I hide my shame? My craft room has gone out of control, you guys. I don't know. Well, I do know what has happened. Like, it's a craft room / guest bedroom. So we have had people in the guest bedroom basically constantly all summer, not just all summer, for like several months. So I just haven't really had access to my craft room for months. So I kind of come down here, put some stuff in here, you know, dig through some things to find stuff I need, etc. And then it just kind of stays a mess because I don't spend time in here, so I don't tidy and put things away properly and all that kind of thing. So it has kind of turned into a disaster, and I'm like looking around at it and I'm like, what have I done? So it needs to be cleaned. So my sock blockers are in here somewhere, but I have no idea where they are. So that's on my to-do list, is clean my craft room, find my sock blockers so that I will show you guys my socks. They look nicer than what is about to happen. This isn't bad though. This is my other finished object for today. And I mean, it's not bad. I also haven't blocked these, so that kind of makes a little bit of a difference. But these are my finished socks. I think I showed you guys the yarn last episode. I did finish them. Here they are. I think they're really cute. I think they're super cute. This is, I think, the Seascape colorway, and the information about the yarn is in the description down below the video. But this is a Knit Picks yarn. It's their static sock yarn, which I don't think they have anymore. And I think that this colorway was the Seascape colorway. And then I just added like a little bit of a neon orange to the top of these, but they're super cute. I knit my socks top down. I do a 1x1 rib. I knit my socks on DPNs. I always knit my socks on DPNs. If you are new to the term, that's short for double pointed needles. And I cast on 56 stitches. For mine, I do a heel flap and gusset for my heels. I always do a heel flap and gusset because the way my foot is shaped, that just fits my foot better. And then I typically will do an eye of partridge, which everybody yelled at me last time. I could not remember the name of that stitch, but it's eye of partridge. I did say it at some point in the podcast episode last time, but like it kind of got lost in the middle. So thank you to everybody who, you know, mentioned it in the comments. You're all gems. This is the eye of partridge stitch. I do this on the ball of the foot because that is where my socks tend to wear out, and that little like slip stitch that you do with eye of partridge just adds another like layer of yarn to the fabric so that it's basically double thick right here. So it adds a little padding and makes your socks a little sturdier. There's a cat outside my window, and the cat doesn't have a tail. That's not my cat. Well, he's very handsome. It's a little black cat with like white paws and like a little white chest. He's cute, but he isn't my cat. I don't know. Hopefully he leaves my cat alone. I got derailed. I don't know if there's anything else to say about these though. I knit them with a US 1 needle, and they're socks. So that's exciting. Yay, socks. Those are my finished objects for today. Now to get into my work in progress. I only have one work in progress to share with you guys because I'm just not working on tons and tons lately. I don't know why. I think I lost my mojo a tiny bit, but also I've just been busy with other stuff in life. Honestly, it's probably good. Like my obsession has like been tempered a little bit, which I think is probably healthy because that means I'm doing more housework now, which is good. My laundry has been caught up for months, whereas like before, my laundry was just not caught up, and it had been like that for like a year. So, the obsessive tendencies are real. Yarn's powerful. Yarn is a powerful mistress. So I haven't been knitting as much or crocheting as much, which is why I have fewer finished objects and fewer works in progress than I did like a year ago, but that's okay. I've got like a cat basket that I really need to finish crocheting just so that I get it off of my like mental load. And then I have this project that I started like last week maybe. And I'm kind of enjoying it, but I also am kind of confused by it. We'll see. Whenever I do a crocheted garment, it just throws me off. Like, I don't know. I love to crochet garments though, so I wish they didn't throw me off, but they tend to. Especially, well, I think that I'm noticing a pattern here actually. So with this, I'm crocheting, let me show you guys the pattern. I'm crocheting the Mary Kate crop top by Courtney A. Clark. Let me turn up this brightness so you guys can see it a little bit better. It's very cute. So it's this little, yeah, it's just this little crop top. Like crop tank top. And it'd be great for summer. We'll see if I finish. Well, no, I'll definitely finish it before summer is over because I'm taking it with me traveling this week, which I'll talk about more in a minute. So I am going to be working on it a bit. Well, I'm probably going to finish it while I'm traveling. And then we've got like all of August, which is like the hottest month. So I will be able to wear this. This is this is crocheted with fingering weight yarn on a 4mm hook. I'm making the size 3. Yeah, I'm making the size 3 because she wants it to have negative ease. So based on the bust measurement in there, it should give me like 1 or 2 inches of negative ease. Here's my dilemma, and I think that this is what I think I may have solved, or I think I may have figured out what is going wrong when I crochet garments that are like a single, why can't I remember crochet terms this morning? Like a single crochet, that's the one. Single crochet garments, which in, I think, like UK terms is I think it's a double crochet. But in US it's single crochet. I think my issue is that my single crochet stitches are tight. And I think that that's why the only other time I did well, no, I think I've done more than one single crochet garment. But they always fit small. They end up being kind of small. And I'm like, what is wrong? Like, did I just pick the wrong size? I think it's because my single crochets are just very tight. I don't have this problem with granny stitch or with my double crochets or like with any other crochet stitch, but my single crochets are just really tight. So for instance, check out my fabric. It's kind of dense. And I was just looking at this and I tried it on and I was like, this just doesn't feel like it's as big as it should be. Like, I mean, it's okay. Like it'll be fine because it's supposed to have negative ease and this is before blocking. But I was like, this just doesn't seem as big as it should be. Plus, I'm almost like halfway through. No, I'm more than halfway through. I'm about halfway through the body of this. And like, that's just not going to be like, it's just not going to, it's supposed to like come up to here. And I'm like, it's just not going to, like, it's not going to be long enough. What's happening? So I was looking at the pictures in her pattern and she's got some close-ups, which is great. Like in her pattern, she has like close-up pictures of the project as she's making it, which I love when designers do that, especially for crochet. Yeah, especially for crochet, because it helps give me like a visual of like, what am I supposed to be doing right now? And her fabric had little spaces in between the stitches. And she hadn't blocked it. Like, I don't think she had blocked it because she was actively still working on it. Like, it wasn't a finished top. And her piece had little spaces. I don't have little spaces. Like, those stitches are right up next to each other. They're not going anywhere. And it occurred to me, I wonder if I just make teeny tiny single crochet stitches and if I just have like a very tight gauge. So I measured it. I've never done a gauge swatch, you guys. Like, so I got my little like measure thing and I looked at the gauge measurement and I can't remember. Does she have it right here? But it's like, you're supposed to have, I think she has in 4 inches, but I think that you're supposed to have, oh yeah, it's 24 rows for 4 inches. So 17 stitches and 24 rows for 4 inches. That's the gauge. So basically that's, oh, why am I blanking? is that 6, 12? So that's 6 rows for 1 inch. I think I had 10 rows for 1 inch. It might have been 9. That's after blocking. So I think I kind of like stretched it out a little bit as if it had been blocked, and it was still like at least like 8 rows, 6 or 8 rows per inch. No, it was like 8 rows per inch. Yeah, but it was 10 rows per inch pre-blocking. Oh my gosh. So apparently my single crochets are tiny and I have a very tight gauge, and I need to size up my needle, or not my needle, my crochet hook. So I think I figured out why all my single crochet garments are too small for me, because I crochet real tight when it's a single crochet. So this is knit on a 4mm, not knit, it's crocheted on a 4mm hook. I ordered a 4.5mm hook because I can't find mine. It's in here somewhere in my craft room. But I had a 5mm hook just around, so I decided to just like play around with it and crochet with it and just see like, well, what does it look like? What does the fabric look like when I crochet with a 5mm hook? And I think I crochet single crochets so tight that I just need to go up like a full millimeter size, because yeah, the 5mm hook might actually like look correct based on what her fabric looks like and like what mine is starting to look like using the bigger hook. So I think, I don't know if I need to like, it would be responsible of me to rip all of this back and start again with the 5mm. I don't want to. I really hate ripping back. And single crochet takes so long. But as I'm thinking about it, I probably should, because if this is too tight, I'm not going to enjoy wearing it because it's not going to fit correctly. And what is the point of putting so many hours into making a handmade item that is supposed to be custom made and custom fit to me? What's the point in doing that if it doesn't really fit? So like this portion would be too small and the rest of it would fit fine, and I should probably just rip it all back. You guys, I don't want to. I'm such a lazy crafter. I really don't want to. I think I'm going to, though. I guess you'll find out in the next episode if that's what ended up happening, but that's probably what ended up happening. But look how cute this looks in the single crochet. This is by Nanette Wake Studio. I don't remember what colorway is. I think it's like stone or something. It's one I got a few years ago, and it was kind of like a one-off colorway, so I don't think that she dyes this up anymore. But you might. She's on Etsy, so it's Nanette Wake Studio, and she's got like a rotation of colorways all of the time, and she's constantly doing new ones, but she does have some that she repeats. I think like her more popular ones she'll repeat now and then. And it just, I think it looks so pretty in the single crochet. I don't want to rip it back. I don't want to start all over again, because this is several hours worth of crochet. Single crochet takes so long compared to other forms of crochet. Oh well, okay. So I might be restarting that. But I'm glad I figured out the issue. I'm pretty sure that that's my issue. So this is my 5mm hook. And I do love these, like, these prim ergonomic hooks. These are very comfortable to use. I find that I don't really get hand or finger fatigue when I'm crocheting with these. I really love these hooks. I might exclusively use these hooks. I've got some others, but I might start exclusively using those just because they're so comfortable, and I don't want to tempt the arthritis, you know. So those are all my works in progress. That's just that one. Ooh, I am spinning some yarn. I started spinning some yarn yesterday. I haven't in a while, and I actually cleaned my spinning wheel and everything. I dusted it. It was a whole thing, and it was very satisfying. I dusted the whole thing, and cleaned up all of the, like, anywhere that there's oil on the spinning wheel. So all of those like metal pieces, anything that like rotates or rubs, you have oil on those pieces. So I cleaned all of that up. Some of them were grimy. And then I polished and sealed and reconditioned the wood, and I re-oiled all of those joints and spinny part. I can't remember what those things are called right now. I swear I took physics, but I just don't remember what all of those little doodahs are called at the moment. Re-oiled everything, and it looks so shiny and happy. My spinning wheel looks amazing, and there's almond oil in the wood cleaner and conditioner and protectant that I used, so my spinning wheel also smells amazing. So it's like a whole sensory experience to spin right now. And I started spinning a 4-ounce braid of neon rainbow merino wool, and that's a joy and a half to be spinning. I think I'm gonna do a 2-ply. I split the braid in half, and I'm gonna, you know, spin up 2 bobbins of singles, and then I'm gonna ply them together to make a 2-ply. And I do actually have 2 braids of this, so I'm gonna have 8 ounces of this 2-ply. I am anticipating that it's probably gonna be like a DK to worsted weight yarn. That's gonna be an awesome project. I don't know if it's gonna turn into an amazing shawl or if it's gonna be part of a sweater. I do love a hand-spun sweater. We're gonna see, but it's gonna be amazing yarn. I'm really excited. It's neon rainbow, like, and it's like pastel neon, which is my favorite. I'm very excited. You can probably tell. I'm going to show that to you guys, I think, in the next podcast episode, because it should be finished by then, at least the first skein. And I might immediately start spinning the second skein right after, because it is just a joy to be spinning. It is so much fun. And especially in the summer, spinning in the summer is, I don't know, I really love spinning in the summer. I actually missed Tour de Fleece this year, which, if you don't know, Tour de Fleece is an event for spinners where we spin yarn during the Tour de France. So the long bike race that happens in France every year. We spin yarn kind of alongside that, and people will do like challenge days when the bikers are doing challenge days in their race. It's really fun, and I didn't do Tour de Fleece this year, which it's okay. I've been doing other stuff, but I kind of don't want to miss it next year because I do really enjoy doing Tour de Fleece. So I missed it this year. But what was I saying? Oh, I was talking about spinning in the summer. There's something very satisfying about spinning in the summer. I think because it's so hot outside, and when I'm spinning, I'm spinning inside for the most part. So it's a great like indoor activity. And I don't have like all of this like wool or hot stuff in my lap. I can have my wool over to the side, and then I'm just like holding that like little bit of wool, and I don't know. It just feels nice to do in the summertime. And this particular braid is really enjoyable for summer because of those like bright neon colors. So I feel like I'm spinning a tropical fish. So I don't know, it's really nice. I'll show that to you guys next time. So that'll be a finished object on the next episode. But right now, that is technically a work in progress. I spun over 2 ounces yesterday because I was just like going. I would kind of like to finish it in the next 2 days. We'll see if that's possible, but I would like to because I'm going to be going on a trip in the next couple days, which again, I'll tell you about more after we get done with the projects. I am chatty today. I'm excited to be here with you. That's why. So for my next upcoming project, I'm pretty sure this is going to be the next thing I'm going to do after I frog that Mary Kate crop, which I'm not looking forward to, but that's okay. It's all part of the process. this is the next thing I think I'm going to cast on, and this is knitting. This is the Nostalgia top. This pattern just came out on Ravelry, I think last week, and it is free right now. I think it will be a paid for pattern later. Don't quote me on that. No, it does say free for a limited time. So if you want to grab this pattern now and put it in your Ravelry library, it is free right now. This is a gorgeous knit top by Auguste Knit. It's beautiful. So I'll show you the little specs first, if you're interested in looking at those. And then you can always, you know, go back and pause if you want to look at the specs in more detail. Here is the top. Look how cute this is. It is both cute and classy and sophisticated and elegant. It's all the things. I love it. This is one I could also see knitting multiple times because it's just so classic. It's beautiful. She knits this on worsted weight using a US 6 needle. It's a 4mm needle. And I am just so excited. I love this little lace at the bottom. I love this like square neckline. I love an I-cord edge. It looks so neat. I love an I-cord edge. It's a pain in the it's a pain to knit. It takes a while, but it looks so good. Love an I-cord edge. So I think I showed this to you guys before. This is my Noro Kakigori yarn. This is the color number 23. I think that this is going to become a nostalgia top. And I think I'm going to do it without the buttons because she has this little like placket that she's knit in the center, which I think looks just fine without buttons. So I think I'm just going to knit this without the buttons. But I'm probably going to knit this again with the buttons in a more neutral colored yarn because I think it looks absolutely precious with the buttons. So cute. This is not a worsted weight yarn. This is more DK-ish. I would say, yeah, it's like DK-ish because it's 600 meters and 200 grams. So if it's 300, well, it's like a sport weight almost. Because that's like 300 meters and 100 grams. So, and it looks more sport weight than DK. Yeah, so it's a sport weight, and this is written for a worsted, but I think it'll be fine because it's knit on a US 6 4mm needle, and those double take tees that I've shown you guys, they're knit in fingering weight yarn on a US 6 needle. And that's a great gauge. It's a great gauge. Yeah, like that fabric it just makes a very nice fabric. It's not see-through at all. So I think a sport weight on a US 6 is going to look awesome. I don't want a dense fabric for a tank top if I can avoid it, because it's hot AF where I live. So I kind of want it to be breezy. If I don't want sleeves, then I also don't want my torso to be insulated a whole lot. So I think that'll work well. I'll just kind of check the gauge to make sure that my my row gauge and my stitch gauge is okay, so that it's going to be like, it's going to fit big enough. I think sometimes when you go down in like a yarn weight, it helps to go up a little bit in a needle size because it kind of offsets the fact that your yarn isn't like making your stitches bigger to make your fabric, you know, wider or taller or whatever. So if you use a bigger needle, it kind of helps offset the fact that your yarn diameter is not making it bigger. Does that make, I don't know if that makes any sense. But I know I've seen that done before. So I think that this will be fine. I typically don't have a problem with knitting on whatever the called for needle size is and changing the yarn weight. Like I do that all the time and I don't really have an issue with it. So I think I'll be fine, but I'll think about it a little bit. I might go up a needle size just to make sure this does actually fit. But this is a great, I don't know, this is a great yarn. I think it's going to be a great project. It's 50% cotton, 30% silk, 10% viscose, and 10% polyamide. So this is like really great for summertime. And again, this might actually get finished by the end of August, or, you know, in August at some point, so that I can wear it in August and maybe the beginning of September before it starts cooling down again for the fall. So I think that's great because it's a very summery yarn. At least I think it's a very summery yarn. I love these little rainbows inside this turquoise. Oh, that'll be great. And then I'm considering casting this on as well. Maybe not immediately, but because now that I might have to be frogging the crochet project. I know I keep mentioning it, but just let me mourn. I might be casting this on too pretty soon because I've been sort of wanting to cast it on all summer. This is the pink Agave shawl by Casapinka. She is just the cutest person. I follow her on Instagram and she's just absolutely adorable. This is knit on a US 7 with a worsted weight yarn. So you can see the specs here. I don't know if that ends up being blurry on the video, but that's not actually a great quality. Let me see if there's a way I can. That's a little bit of a better picture. So this is the pink Agave shawl by Casapinka. Let me see if I can get you more detail on the actual texture. You can see the texture better on the less colorful yarn. And I think this is the yarn she uses in this pattern. Pretty sure it looks exactly the same. So it says Kakigori on here. And this looks like that colorway. So I'll basically be knitting the exact same shawl, which I don't think I've ever done that. I don't think I've ever knit a pattern in the yarn that the designer used for the pattern. But I bought this yarn because I saw her designing the shawl on Instagram and I loved it so much. I was like, I want that yarn. And then I did end up finding it like in a local yarn shop when I was traveling and I snatched it. It's so pretty. Look at all these colors. And I love pink and yellow together is my favorite color combination. So this is just very perfect. And it feels really, really wonderful. This has more wool in it, I think. Yeah, it's got some wool. So it's, wow, this is very blendy. It's 26% silk, 21% cotton, 15% viscose, 14% mohair, 12% wool, and 12% polyamide. So that mohair and wool really do change the feel of this one. This one does feel very cotton and silk heavy. This one feels woolier. And I think that'll be a beautiful shawl for the beginning of fall. I made a teeny tiny poem. A beautiful shawl for the beginning of fall. Yeah, I do think I like this pattern. I had considered just doing just like a boomerang shawl with this, which I might still do. We'll see. Cause like I could just whip out a boomerang shawl, like, you know, quick. But I kind of like the pink Agave shawl. I like that texture that she has on there. I could see myself knitting it more than once. I like the shape as well. Like this is the shape and I do really like that. I think it's a very wearable shape. And it's kind of boomerang shawl shaped. But I don't know. I like it. So I might just go ahead and buy the pattern and knit this shawl versus making up my own. So that is an upcoming thing more than likely. And I think that's it for my projects. We've got some stuff going on over here. It's fun. As for my travels, so I am going to be traveling again this week. I'm going to be in Wisconsin visiting my best friend. She's in Madison, Wisconsin. So if you are in the Madison area, then yeah, you can definitely let me know, and I might be able to like hang out and knit with you or crochet with you. I'm going to be going to my favorite yarn shop in Wisconsin, which is the Sow's Ear in Verona, Wisconsin. Probably going to get some yarn. There's one particular yarn that I think that I want to get while I'm there. It's escaping me right now. It's Lucky something. I don't remember what it's called. But I'm going to be getting some of that while I'm there. It's beautiful. It's like a tweedy yarn. It's very woolly. It's kind of rusticy feeling. And I'm probably going to get some coffee and a snack while I'm there, because the Sow's Ear is just the most charming yarn shop / cafe. They have delicious coffee and the cutest, most delicious little snacks. You can actually have like a full like lunch there. Like they make a quiche and all kinds of stuff. So we're going to be doing that. And I also wanted to ask you guys, if you happened to know, we're going to be going to a national park that's not too far away, the Indiana Dunes National Park. And so I think we have to pass like by or through Chicago while we're doing that. What are your favorite yarn stores in Chicago? I found one that looks really cute. I think it's called the Blooming Spindle or the Blooming Spindle. It looks adorable, so I really want to go there. But is there like a favorite yarn shop or like a really famous yarn shop in Chicago that I just really need to go to? Please let me know if you hold the secrets to Chicago's yarn. So I'm excited about that, and it'll be great to be up in Wisconsin where it is not 1,000,000 degrees. I mean, it's still summer, but it's not as hot as it is down here in the Southeast. It's real warm. That's going to be great. I think that's basically it as far as like yarny travel update things. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. I like to let you guys know like what books I'm reading and stuff. And I forgot to do that last time. I just recently finished Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, or Maas. I don't know how she says her last name. And it was okay. I know that that series is a really popular series of hers, but I just couldn't get super into it. I started and stopped that book probably 6 or 7 times. I finally finished it, and I am planning on reading the next one in the series. I'd like to, you know, just read the whole series. Because like some of her books I've noticed, like they're very slow to start. It's hard for me to get into them. And then like something changes and they become very interesting. I love the series, A Court of Thorns and Roses, but I like some books in that series more than others. So I'm going to read the second book, and just hope that it's more engaging for me than the first book was. Because I did not love A Throne of Glass. I don't know. It didn't like catch me. It's hard to describe like what I didn't love about it. I mean, she creates a good universe, and there are intriguing parts about it, but it just didn't like really strike me. And if you're not familiar with the series, it follows the story. The main character is an assassin who was captured and put into like a forced labor camp, which is basically a death camp, but she gets taken out of it in order to be like forced into this like competition to be like the king's champion. And the king's, at this point he looks like he's pretty evil, so she doesn't want to work for the king, but if she wins this competition and becomes the king's champion, then she can earn the right to her freedom. And that's like all she's ever wanted, is to be free. She didn't want to be an assassin to begin with. So it's like following her story, and it's kind of set in that fantasy realm. So lots of magic, swords. Actually, magic is like outlawed at this point, but it's like there's obviously magic going on, and there's obviously going to be magic happening throughout the series. But magic is outlawed by the king for some reason. We don't know why. And but there's a lot of magic stuff happening. Swords, you know, so it's like that kind of like universe. So if you're into that kind of high fantasy genre, you might be into this. And this first book, there's not tons of romance stuff. Like I wouldn't say that this first book is like a smut novel, which works for me because like I kind of like skim over those parts when I'm reading these books anyway. Yeah, I mean, unless it's like really good smut, but usually I just kind of skim over it because like I'm reading it for the story. Yeah, so there's that. I'm going to start the second book soon. I'm giving a very lackluster review of this series. If you've read this series and you have opinions about it, feel free to comment below and let me know. Is the second book something for me to really look forward to? I can't remember what the second one is. I don't think it's Heir of Fire. I think that's maybe the third in the series. But I think I have it downloaded in my Libby library. So if you're not familiar, so I do a lot of audiobooks because I want to be knitting at the same time and I need my hands free. So I listen to audiobooks and I use the Libby app, and basically it's amazing. It's all you need is a library card for like your local library. You can actually have multiple library cards in the app, so like you can borrow your friend's library card or your family members, and you put your library card like information into the app and you get access to all of the audiobooks that your library has access to. So you can check them out just the way that you would check out like a physical book from your library. So free audiobooks, which is great because audiobooks can be expensive. So I read, yeah, all of my audiobooks basically that I listen to on the audio or the Libby app. I'm going to start maybe using the, what is it? It's the big like audio library that is through Amazon. What's it called? I don't remember. It's like, it's just escaping me right now. But I know some people that like have that audio library thing, subscription, whatever. So I might start using theirs to start listening to other paid for audiobooks. Wow, that's annoying me that I can't remember what it's called. I'll remember as soon as we're done recording. It's fine. I can even like see the little icon in my mind, but I can't remember what it's called. Whatever, it doesn't matter. You guys probably know, and you're probably, you know, screaming it at the screen like you did last time with Eye of Partridge. That's all right. So that's what's happening with the reading. And that's what's happening with the travel, going to Wisconsin for a few days. And that's about it. I've got other life stuff going on, but that's probably the stuff that you're more interested in. So I guess we'll end it here for today. Let me know what projects you guys are working on right now. If you've got any fun summer adventures going on or planned or that you already did this summer. If there are any fun yarn events or other just yarn related things you think that I need to know about or that your fellow yarn friends need to know about in the comments. Yeah, let's chat. So thank you guys so much for spending some time with me today. I always cherish this time to obsess about yarn with you. So thanks. I hope that you are having a wonderful week and you are having wonderfully fulfilling and exciting and beautiful projects that are bringing you joy. And I will talk to you guys again in a couple of weeks. Bye.